Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're going to take a look at another small transformer. This time around we've got a throttle bot, something we haven't looked at in a long while. This is the Autobot Materials Transport Expert, Wideload. Now, Wideload was released in 1987. He would only be available in 1987. He would be discontinued by 1988, and we would not get a replacement for him. Wideload, as I said, is a throttle bot. He's the only throttle bot in the group that really wasn't a normal car by any stretch of the imagination. As you can see, he is quite clunky looking, or chunky looking. But like all the other throttle bots, he is on a pullback motor, which is accessible in the robot mode. He slipped on me there, folks. Let's try this again. And good catch before he rolls off the table. This was one of the new gimmicky type transformers to replace the previously done mini vehicles that basically just stood there like that. Why Hasbro felt we needed ones that had a pullback motor, I don't know. But at any rate, let's take a look at Wideload and his articulation, and basically he can bend back at the ankles. That's it. So that's kind of pathetic. But then again, that's what they wanted to make for us. So at any rate, we'll transform Wideload here. Starting with back here at his base, we're going to pull the rear wheels out a bit, like so. This piece here behind his head, we're going to fold over. Snap it into place. Then we fold his whole body back till it rests against the motor. And then you'll fold his arms in at the sides. And then now you get to see Wideload in his alternate mode. He's a dump truck. More specifically, he's an earth mover style of dump truck. So it'd be a very large type of dump truck that's used more for very, very large construction, but more for mining operations. As he's an earth mover type of dump truck, as I stated before, he's going to be a very, very large-sized dump truck. If you'd like to get a glimpse of one, I would suggest checking out the Jackie Chan movie, Mr. Nice Guy, where the villain in the movie often disposed of troublemakers at what he called the guest house by burying them under dirt carried by an earth mover. Plus, of course, you'll get to witness the ultimate fight of Jackie Chan versus an earth mover dump truck. You certainly don't want to miss that if you're a fan of hilarious kung fu movies. But at any rate, the pullback motor works the same here. In dump truck mode, off he goes. So, that's Wideload and his alternate mode in a nutshell. Like all the throttle bots, Wideload has no loose parts, but he does have an easy-to-remove part. This piece back here that goes over his head, it is attached on there the same way. It's basically posts on holes, and it can be removed, although this one's given me a bit of a fight to come off, so we're not going to take the opportunity to remove it, but Just do be aware that on loose samples, sometimes this piece is missing. So be aware of that when you go looking for a loose one. Now we'll take a look at his file card, and this would be the later version file card, as this is one of them that came with the decoy. Right here would be where Wideload would be, and right over here would be the decoy. Really must commend the previous owner of this for keeping it in such good shape. And fortunately, the robot's picture here on the package does look considerably more impressive than what we got. Now we'll turn him around to the back side. It shows here how you can use the pullback motor in the truck mode, and then quick steps to transform him, and then use that again and watch him roll across the floor. And then you get the reminder to use the rub sign, which as you can see is right on his chest. And you get your big robot points down here at the bottom. He was worth half a point. Then we turn it to the side here so that you can go over his tech specs. It's all done up in red to show that he's an Autobot. It lists him as a throttle bot, and of course the picture here does match the picture on the front of the card. It gives his name as Wideload, and his function is materials transport. And his motto is, look good and you'll have the world in your pocket. Almost sounds like he could belong with the Kardashian clan, doesn't he? Usually he's so dirty you'd think he sweated grease, but he's a neatness fanatic, vain and superficial, judges others on appearances, uses spare time to work on his polish, can haul up to 1 million pounds, uses hands and tires sensors to find new sources of raw materials, unusually susceptible to rust, an embarrassment given his pride in his appearance. So, yeah. There's a lot of comments I can make to that, but we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. We're just going to move right along, put the decoder over the grid, and let's take a look at his stats. Excuse me. It gives his strength as 9, his intelligence is 4, his speed is 2, his endurance is 9, his rank is 5, his courage is 7, his firepower is 1, and his skill is 5. So he's got the toughness, and that's about it. Now we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Wideload? Wideload, unfortunately, is a pretty bland and boring character. This is one of them I had growing up as a child, and I don't really think I played with him all that much, because I knew from the checklists what all the other vehicles were for the throttle bots. I mean, you had the Volkswagen Beetle, and you had a bunch of sporty cars, and of course you had the Jeep roll bar, and then a dump truck. It just seemed like the odd one out, and unfortunately, given his size, you notice the arms are very, very tiny, given the large size that he has. I mean, granted, yes, the throttle bots have not had very big arms, but on Wideload here, it's very noticeably different that he's out of proportion. Plus, I really don't care for the boxy look that his body has, given the alternate mode. So in a lot of ways, the toy is just basically a disappointment. So I'm definitely going to put him down at the bottom tier. He's not quite down there to the point that we need Ed to come up here and blow him away, but he does come pretty close to it. Meaning, I know some people will enjoy the fact that he can roll across the floor, and if you got very young children, obviously this toy would go pretty well with them, you know. No real loose parts to speak of, and you got a play feature that is useful in both modes, so I could see you entertaining a young child with that, or heck, even entertaining your cat with it, but beyond that, also given just how poor his character is written, he's definitely a bottom tier, folks. If he had any more poor qualities, then we'd have to be getting Ed up here. But he just barely avoids Ed. And that concludes my review of the Generation 1 Autobot Materials Transport Expert Wideload. If you liked the review, please leave a thumbs up here on YouTube. Don't forget as well, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to join up in our ranks. And please ring the bell so you'll be notified of all future videos. Also, please consider sharing your thoughts and opinions of Wideload in the comments section down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.